A tester 1, 2. Is it working?
Let's find out here. Okay, yeah, now it has like a recording emblem on your thing. Talk real quick.
Yeah, I am. It doesn't always pop up on the thing. I don't know how. Yeah,
Do you know how to read?
maybe.
Okay, I know that's difficult sometimes. I don't like reading.
I'm tired, so we'll see how well reading goes for me today.
Period. Okay, let me put this over here. I saw this funny YouTube video with this woman introducing herself in weird and funny ways, and so I'm going to replicate that.
That sounds like a terrible idea for you.
I love it. Okay, are you ready to start?
Yeah. Welcome to the next episode of Weekly Gaming on Xbox. It is the weekend of 3/27/2023, which is a Monday. But for us, we are recording on 3/29/2023, which just happens to be our weekly Wednesday. This Wednesday actually came up pretty quickly, if I do say so myself. Welcome to the podcast, everybody. I am your host, Mini Penguin, with the fantabulous
Bryce Maldat. B2 Gaming as well.
We got a pretty good episode waiting for you guys this week. I have no clue what I'm doing. I sound like an announcer on that's ready for radio or something.
Yeah,
I've actually been on the radio.
I have as well.
It's actually a lot of fun. I want to go back on the radio. I love just when they ask you questions and you can sit there and talk about it. It's super fun.
I've never been like on radio payroll, but I feel like that would be really, really fun.
Well, I haven't either. I've been a guest and stuff like that, but it's still super fun. I think that's, if I remember correctly, I don't know if it's what he still does, but my cousin who lives down in Florida, I don't know if he's ever listening to this, but if he does,
Florida's
shout out to him.
The land of radio.
Well, yeah, but he got a pretty good job. He was actually up here visiting. I think it was the same time he first introduced his girlfriend to us, to the family, when he actually proposed that weekend too.
Oh, that's cute.
Or no, where were we? I think it might have been the year before that. He was up here. He was up visiting. We were actually out in the cities at the Mall of America, and he got a phone call, and he was just kind of doing it as a school thing, and they actually offered him a job, and it was that's actually really cool. So I don't know if he actually listens to my podcast, but if he does, shout out to him. Following in his footsteps. But he's been working for the radio station for years, and I always love when he comes up and visits, because I don't see him very often because he lives so far away. So
yeah. Okay, well, as Trevor said, everybody, welcome back to Weekly Gaming on Xbox, the week of March 27th. This is our second consecutive episode of 2023, so we're on a good track.
Yeah, this week came up real quick.
And of course, as always, we are back with tons of fun news stories, a little bit of updates about us, and always lots of gaming throughout the week. So, Trevor, what is going on with games that you are playing and updates to your channel?
Still working on updates with the channel, so that one's not going to change for a while. That I have a lot of work to do. But in terms of games, I jumped on Call of Duty for a bit yesterday, and I finally got all of my snipers the platinum skin for Modern Warfare 2. I've spent countless hours grinding it out. It was the biggest pain I have ever had to deal with, but they are all platinum, because I know next time all I have to do is get headshots, and I drop headshots tons every game anyways. For those of you who don't know and haven't seen my past streams, I love, when I play Call of Duty, I love to use snipers. I don't know why. It probably has to date back to the Black Ops 2 days, but I really love just sniping, and I'm actually not half bad with it. And considering I play on a controller, I'm actually kind of decent with it. I hit some nasty flicks sometimes, so I can hit some pretty good shots. I'm not good with trick shotting, but I'm good with like landing some dirty shots that are just sometimes nutty,
Yeah.
like absolutely nutty, but otherwise not much. Update on Rocket League though, I did make it back in. I was in Platinum 3 for ranked duos, and after playing, what was it, Monday? I think it was. I
Mhm.
got myself back up into Diamond, so I am sitting in Diamond League right now.
Also, shout out to Riverside FM, which is our new remote recording software for the moment, because we were searching around for new like remote recording software. So far, it hasn't broken yet, so we'll keep you guys updated if it does. But
All
so
right,
far,
well,
first podcast starting out strong.
yeah, I would say so far this is like kind of a tester run, so you guys will have to let us know how it sounds, because obviously we won't know for a little bit, but until, well, I won't, at least until Bryce gets the podcast out. But
Yeah,
I'm hoping it sounds a lot better than previously, but otherwise I don't know. It's a lot more, there's a lot more to it, so we can kind of do a lot more with it, which is kind of nice. So
oh yeah, yeah.
we're hoping to eventually add face cams and record with that, and like put up our podcast with face cams. But until that day happens, still have a ways to go before that. But this is a
Yeah.
pretty nice one, and it works really well. Plus, I just noticed we can mark clips as we're recording.
Yeah, that would have been so useful, that one episode where we were like talking about lots of different things. I had to like slide into it because I had to like just write down the timestamps at where we were talking about that stuff. So now I would be able to just mark it so I could have it digitally,
I
which would
just
be nice.
I'm looking at some of the stuff on here, and I just realized there's a whole thing that you can, well, it says you can't change it while recording, but there's a whole section, a whole like option that just says echo cancellation. It's like, well, that would have been nice to see before. So hopefully there's no echo.
Oh yeah. Well, no, it's only if you're not using headphones. It's meant to you use that if you're not using headphones so that you can't
Oh,
hear. Yeah. So it's nice if we have a guest that doesn't use headphones, we can turn on echo cancellation for them so that they don't hear us.
that would help really well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I thought that was cool. But I did turn on like noise reduction. So hopefully if there's any noises it will reduce them.
Yeah, there's a lot more features to this, so I'm really excited that we get to try some new stuff.
And just so everybody knows, the reason I found out about them is because they actually just relaunched. Because the person that I know that uses this is a Apple uh, podcaster, and he's one of like the founders of this, and he does video editing and stuff for them. But yeah, they just relaunched literally like 4 days ago or something, and they added lots of new features. Now you can edit on the web, which we won't be utilizing because I edit everything in house. But for anybody who's starting or people who are interested in podcasting, Riverside FM, very good option. And you record up to 2 hours a session and all this other stuff. So it's very useful. And then there's paid tiers that you can do a lot more even.
Which we
So that's
usually break
nice.
our sections up anyways, so then that 2 hours isn't all that bad.
No, that's what I said. 2 hours a session is like nothing because even our news session usually is like an hour max. So I don't think we would ever get near that.
Or there's the one day where we recorded and it was like a 4 hour long podcast because you let me just sit and rant the whole time.
Even that one was multiple sections though, because that was just our last commentary section. You were like an hour and a half, and then the news section was an hour and a half. So it still got broken up, and the intro was like an hour.
Yeah, but you let me
Um,
talk for way too long.
yeah, yeah, but it's been really exciting. So we're using the new software. It's very exciting. Any other games that you got on the roster right now?
I'm jumping back into Apex Legends. Stop messing with my audio stuff. I can tell
I'm
it's you.
not.
Oh, well, it's messing with my audio thing. It keeps maxing it out. It's like, well, I don't want it because I want it to like cut off at a certain like height. If I get too loud, I don't want it to like overly do it.
Oh,
So I'm trying to like limit how much because I know my mic can pick up some crazy stuff.
Uh,
But I'm trying to jump back into Apex Legends. They just released a new event, and now Ash has an heirloom. So it's actually really cool. My buddy bought it last night, and they're nunchucks with like knives on like the like ends. So
uh,
it's so cool. And I was like we were looking at the animations with it of it and everything, and it was like, dude, this is sick. I might have to buy this. So I might. It's like I want to buy it, but I'd have to spend like $120 just to buy it, and it's like I don't want to do that. Like I just got
oh
part
yeah,
of my paycheck today, but I don't want to spend that much.
yeah.
So I'm on. I gotta figure it out.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
sure it will work out, but that's good. So, just
I
getting
mean,
back into Apex and grinding away.
yeah, a little bit. I was playing a little bit before podcasts, and Bryce had to listen to that, unfortunately for him. Um,
As I was writing out the script, he was like, "You already have your shields."
I don't
I was like,
even.
"Okay."
I don't remember saying that, but I'm sure it did come up. I played a couple. I played one game of Gun Run and won. I finished off the last. I finished getting the last kill for my team, and I got stuck with all the crappy weapons throughout the game, so I was really pissed about that. And then I played a couple games of trios, and I didn't do too bad, but we kept getting third partied because Broken Moon is a terrible map. So, and
Oh
to
yeah.
and to all the new Apex players that are playing and say, no, Broken Moon is like the best map they have. Like, what do you mean? It's like, no, it is not. I have been playing Apex for just over a year now, and I've played on every single map that they have come out with. And World's Edge is a fun map. I do enjoy that one. Storm Point isn't a terrible map, but it's not the best map. It is still a good map to play on. I miss Kings Canyon. I actually have a video on my channel where it's a really old video at this point. It's definitely a year old. But I was playing with my buddy and we were playing duos, and this is when I was first like getting into the game, so I wasn't that good.
Yeah.
And I said that Kings Canyon was the worst map ever, and I regret it
Yeah.
saying it because after they took it away and brought it back, I was still playing it because it was like, oh, I still didn't like the map at the time, but I played it. I was playing it and it's like, why did I ever say this map is trash? This map is like one of the best maps they have. I've gotten most of my wins on that one. One map that I've got like almost all my wins
Uh-huh.
is Olympus, and that map is
Oh, I love
fun.
Olympus.
It is a fun map. There's definitely work that can be done to it, but it is a fun map. I do enjoy it. Broken Moon being the new one that they just released with the previous season,
I don't think I played much
it's
Broken Moon.
it's not a good map. It really isn't. The whole map itself is just laid out for third parties everywhere, and
Mm.
there's no real easy way to get any sort of advantage on that map. So I really just I'm not a big fan of that map as it is. So
Oh
I
yeah,
just
yeah.
I can't vibe with it.
Oh, I got you. I definitely felt that with some stuff, like some maps or ways that Call of Duty maps are laid out. Sometimes I'm like, oh lord, like it's just a wreck.
Yeah, the new one they released probably a couple weeks ago now. It's been a little bit, but they just
On
released a new
COD.
map. Yeah, they just released a new map not too long ago. It's a pretty big map, but
I think I
it's
saw my
awful.
dad playing it actually, but I haven't played it yet.
It's awful. It's actually awful because it's just camper paradise. If you're sitting in a corner, it is so hard to see people in some corners, and people just. I've played the map, I think 5 times, and every game I've played, people are just sitting in corners with like LMGs. It's like, why is this what this game has become? I can't with that map. It is actually awful. People just sit and camp on that map. Like it's bad on some maps, but at least
Uh-huh.
on some maps, there's an easy way to counter it. That map, there is not very much like there's not an easy way to counter it compared to a lot of other maps. So
Yeah.
I can't with that map. If it pops up, I'm backing out and queuing a new lobby because I'm not playing that map.
Anything else going on aside from Apex and COD? Have you been on
Um,
Minecraft at all?
I have not been on Minecraft in quite a while actually. Now that I think about it, I really need to jump back on. I've been on such a rotation of games that it's tough to get back into some of these games.
Yeah.
Minecraft comes and goes. Like I was really big into playing it a lot, and it's kind of backed out a bit. And I'm sure once I start getting going on it again, especially with the modded world and the
Hmm.
modded server we have going, there's
Yeah.
so much to it and so much that we have yet to do
Oh
that
yeah.
I'm sure once I get playing on it again. Well, my thing is with that, there's so much included in this mod pack in the mod pack we have installed
Uh huh.
that I just want to do nothing but explore. Like I don't even want to build bases or anything. I just want to explore and see all the stuff there is. And it's so bad because I'm sure after a while it gets boring, you know? Like I should probably do something, but I really just want to sit and explore. I think when we first loaded it up, I streamed for like 4 hours and all I was doing was exploring different structures and fighting bosses.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I feel like sometimes with modded ones too, you have to just like pick a lane because I feel like they can also be a little overwhelming. So you kind of have to pick a lane to focus on for a while and then kind of work from there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, so you'll have to hop back on that. You live streamed on that world for a while, and you were getting some pretty good numbers off of that.
I was, and I actually met a couple people that I played a couple games with, and they haven't been on Minecraft at all since I played with them a while back. But which kind of sucks because I really did enjoy playing with them. But um, I'm sure eventually they'll get back on and play. They've been
Yeah,
playing other
absolutely.
games lately, so I
Yeah.
can't hold them to it.
Oh yeah. Um. So yeah. So that's good. Now moving on to what Bryce has going on. So for anybody who's been watching The Walking Dead Definitive Edition, finally we have a lot of the season 1 parts out. So if you want to see more on the Walking Dead game, that's out. That's fun. That's going great. Season 2, I'm gonna have a new episode out today whenever the podcast releases. For the season 2, episode 2, I believe we're on. So that's really awesome. So that's been really fun. So I've obviously been playing a lot of the Walking Dead Definitive Edition, which is super fun. I'm currently not streaming very much because I'm doing so much with The Walking Dead. So hopefully, once I have that more stable, I'll be back to streaming. But I haven't been streaming for almost a month now because I've been recording that. Because we were originally recording The Walking Dead Definitive Edition, like just downloading the streams. But season 1 had some issues with it because every once in a while the stream would get unstable, and there was just like some unstable parts, which was not very nice for post viewing. So that's why now I've decided to record them offline. So the quality is a lot higher, but that means I'm not streaming as much, which kind of sucks, but that's just how it goes. Camera X Game Studios has an official site now, so you guys will see that linked in the podcast description and on most of my like random channel stuff. So you can check that out. That just has all the links for us to me and Trevor's YouTube channel and stuff like that. I've been playing Minecraft as always. That's why I asked, because I've still been playing a lot of Minecraft. Mostly Bedrock Edition, just playing on Xbox, either like solo or just with a friend or two, whatever. The Walking Dead Definitive Edition has also been on my roster, but obviously that one is just recording for YouTube, which is always a super fun time. And then I've been playing the Outer Worlds Spacer's Choice Edition, which we talked about on last week's news. I've still been having a steady playthrough. I've still been recording a lot. I'm still hoping to do a lore series on it. So I have been recording all my gameplay footage so I can use that for a lore series if I want to. And that's really all that's been on the roster. I was playing a lot of State of Decay last week, and I haven't been doing that now for some reason. I don't know why, but I just kind of cut myself off from that. But yeah, so that's all on the roster for this round. Anything else you want to talk about before we swap over to the news section, Trevor?
Do we want to jump in? Because that's one thing we haven't done in a while.
Mm-hmm.
We used to go through and we used to talk about just kind of outside of like the gaming world, just what's been going on.
Uh huh.
Um, I don't know. Do we want to do that, or do we want to do that at the end of the podcast like we used to do? Like, do we want to jump back into doing that stuff at all?
Yeah, I think we can. I don't know if we will. I don't know if we'll do it this episode, but we can put it back into the last section of the podcast like we used to do.
I think it would definitely be something because that's something I always like to do, and it's I've had so much go on in the last week that it's been so crazy busy. And I remember last week we talked about there was a live stream of the new games that were coming out. And
Uh-huh.
I've been so busy over the last week. I haven't even gotten a chance to look at it. It's just been nonstop. Like it's a crazy week. It's been a crazy week. So hopefully I
Oh
can
yeah, yeah.
get to
I haven't
talk
got to
about
watch it
that.
either, honestly.
Yeah, we'll have to get to talk about that at the end, like what's
Well,
been
you can
going
even
on.
talk about it now. That's also what the intro section is for a little bit, I feel like, is just on top of channel updates, also like personal updates.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, if you really don't mind, like I can go into talking about it.
Yeah, you can slip it in here, yeah.
Mostly
I'll just
it's
sit
like,
back and sip my coffee.
yeah, I'm about ready to get myself a fresh cup. I work just days at this point, so it's nothing bad.
Yeah.
It's spring's right around the corner for everyone, which is kind of nice. The weather's starting to get a little nicer out here, so the snow.
Snippet. I went on a nice walk today before we started the podcast. A nice mile
Yeah, you
walk, and
sent
it
me
was magnificent.
yeah, you sent me a little video as per usual. You used to do
Yes.
that all the time. You'd send me little videos of your walks every time, like all the time.
Oh yeah, and
And
my runs. Like whenever I go on a run, I would usually send you like a selfie right before started the run.
yeah, so that was one thing. That's one thing that's still staying consistent, which is kind of nice. Keep the updates going.
Yeah, yeah.
But over the last week, I've had to do some dog sitting for my parents. I had how many dogs? I had 5 dogs and a cat that I had to watch, which overall wasn't bad. I had my dog and then my great aunt's dog along with my parents, and my dog and my great aunt's dog, since they're so close in age, because they're only like 4 months apart, 4 or 5 months apart, so they're still like they're both puppies. So
Oh
at
Lord.
at first, like my dog, I named him Captain. I
I
haven't
love
talked about
Captain.
that I haven't talked about that at the podcast at all. So I got
Yeah,
a
I don't think
dog.
you had Captain before, huh?
Mm-mm. So I got Captain. He's kind of like a bulldog, or not bulldog, a pit bull kind of like mix. He doesn't have as much pit in him as like other breeds. He's adorable. He's right here right now. Actually, hi bubbies, hi bubbies. Who's my good boy? He actually turns 1 in May, so he's 10 months old. Just about 11.
Aw, getting so
Goofy.
old already.
No, get down. Hey, ow, ow, jerk. Um, he's a puppy. He is adorable though. He is so loving. When I first went and got him, he was at my local shelter, and I think his mom had just been adopted like the week before, and his dad was still there. His dad was only 2 years old, so it wasn't much older. But I got him back in September, so I've had him for what's it been? 6 months now. I want to
Oh,
say.
okay, yeah. Yeah, that
About
sounds about right if I've been keeping track.
I believe so. Yeah, I think 6 months now. And oh my gosh, hi. You heard your name, so now you need all the attention. He's adorable. He's absolutely lovely. And he has this like gray, like old man beard kind of thing going.
Oh Lord,
And
yeah.
it's the cutest thing ever. And he makes the cutest like faces and all sorts of stuff sometimes. So like I'll try and snap pictures. Get out of there. That is not a place you can snap. Um And so I was like going through names. I was like, what should I name him? I liked the idea of naming him after like a video game character of sorts, based off of one of the other like big YouTubers I watch. And I was like, what do I name him? None of these names seem right. So I was like, I play a lot of Call of Duty. So what kind of characters are there? Well, there's Captain Price, which is the main one, and he's got like a gray beard. And it reminded me kind of that, so I named him Captain after like Captain Price. And every time I bring it up, and people ask, it's like, "Oh, did you name your dog after Captain Morgan?" And it's like, okay, I get it. Like I like to have a drink here and there, but good God, I don't drink that much. Like, geez. No, I named him
Captain
after a video
Morgan.
game character. Clearly, none of you know me at all.
Yeah.
So I named him after that, and the name just stuck, and I liked it. So his name is
Yeah.
Captain. He's adorable. But he got along with my great aunt's dog so much that they were playing at 3 a.m. and it was super annoying because I was trying to sleep. It's like, y'all, go to bed, like chill out. Like they were together at. I brought him over at like 5, and they were playing from 5 p.m. till 3 a.m. nonstop the entire time, and they would not let me sleep.
Oh Lord, that's always fun.
I was getting a headache because they were just nonstop going at it. It was like, holy crap, y'all need to take a chill pill. So
Yeah.
I had that on Thursday night into Friday. Then Friday I was over at my friend's working on my car because my headlight had went out and I had no headlights on my car. Both of my headlights were out. So I was working on it Friday night. Then it got too dark. So it was like, well, I had to go home. And I was like risking getting a ticket if I got pulled over. So I was like, okay, well, I need to get home. Went back over Saturday, was working on it more, only to find out, well, the wires that connected to my headlight were completely chewed out. And apparently, after taking it over to people looking at it Sunday, they were chewed out years before I even had the car.
Uh,
And they were just, people just lazily fixed them and called it good. So it's like, well, I can't do anything. So I brought it into the shop and got it fixed yesterday. They fixed my car, and they're like, yeah, so this is, yeah, it's basically what we did. And so my car got fixed, which was awesome because I can drive my car again. And he was looking at it and he was like, yeah, so your car sounded a little like off. And so you're looking around, I was looking around, and the side of your muffler is starting to rust out. I was like, oh, that would explain a lot. It was like, yeah, it shouldn't cause you any problems, like any major problems, but you'll probably want to get that replaced at some point. And it was like, yeah, the guy next door, he can do it, and you can either pay like $125 for a new muffler, or you could pay like half of that for to just put a pipe in. So I'm gonna take it in June after all the crazy stuff goes on.
uh-huh.
Um, and I'm gonna probably just straight pipe it because it'll make it a little louder. But that was like part of the plan that I wanted to do with my car because there's a lot I want to do with it.
Yeah.
Eventually, I'll probably get like a spoiler for it, and I'm gonna put like subs in it, and like I'm gonna like turn it into like a proper looking sports car. And because it sits so low to the ground as it is, because it is a Mazda, because it
Mm-hmm.
sits so low to the ground as it is, there's not a whole lot I really have to do, which helps. I just need there's just a lot of stuff I have to put into work and remodel and like parts replacements that I
Yeah.
basic stuff that I have to do, but it shouldn't be terribly hard. I mean, I have I have guys I can take it to. I have people that I know can help me work on it on stuff at home, or like I have my mechanic I can go to. Like I don't it's pretty easy. I just need to get the parts. That's all I need, and I can get
Yeah.
it done.
So that's good, but at least your headlight and everything got all figured out, so that's good. Because I know
Oh
that
yeah.
was a source of stress.
Yeah, I was losing my mind over the weekend because it's like, well, I can drive during the day, but driving at night, it's like, well, if I get pulled over, the chances of me getting a ticket are super high because
Yeah.
I need my car because I have a lot of stuff I got to do, and it's like, well, I need to get this fixed. So
Yeah.
I'm glad I got that fixed. And then with spring coming up, I coach. I'm a coach, so this spring, starting actually next Monday, Allie will be going and having to drive 45 minutes a day, to like 45 minutes every day, like up to where I need to go, and then 45 minutes home. So I'll be spending like an hour and a half, like 2 hours in the car driving every day just for coaching.
Yeah.
And it's a lot. Luckily, it's not too far, but um, yeah, we start practices next week, and unfortunately, because there's still snow on the ground out here, we have to go inside, which I hate practicing inside. it's like, well, this doesn't really help because a lot of these kids need to like figure out like, well, the grass is we play on the grass.
Uh-huh.
For the people that don't know, I coach lacrosse, and for those of you who don't know what lacrosse is, which is probably mostly everyone, it's pretty much kind of like field hockey in a sense. Like a lot of this stuff is the same,
Mm-hmm.
so it's not terribly. Stop licking me, you turd! Captain had to come say hi again. Um, it's pretty similar. I played it when we started the program up here, and now I coach it, which is awesome. Um, and I'm actually a head coach this year, and this is only my second year coaching, but I'm a head coach this year, which is super cool. I have a lot of kids I got to coach, and so I'll be driving out of town to coach that. And so my schedule is about to like be stressful and full like every day. So
Yeah.
it'll be fun.
Yeah, that should be exciting though, because I know that you really like lacrosse. So.
Oh yeah, I love it. It's so fun. It's like there's so many kids that are playing this year that to have all of them actually want to play is crazy. But because I'm coaching such a younger age, there's not as many kids on the field, which is super annoying. Because it's like we have enough kids that we could play we could do like 6-on-6 like a full like 20 like 10v10 like because there's and like the league I played in because I was old enough. I played varsity I played varsity from
Yeah.
like when I was like in eighth grade.
Mm-hmm.
You put 9 kids as players and then one goalie, so you'll have 10 people on the field. And it's like we have enough kids on my team alone that I could put kids out for both sides and still have subs. Like I could put 20 kids on the field and still have a couple subs. Like we have a ton of kids this year. So they're trying to split it up, which is going to work out a little better. But
Yeah.
it's still, I have a lot of kids I have to rotate around and rotate through. So it'll be kind of annoying, but we can get through it.
Yeah, I think it will go smoothly, honestly. And I think you're a pretty decent coach, so I think you got this.
You haven't even seen me coach. I haven't even
Yeah,
seen
but
me
I've heard
coach.
stories. I've heard
I
stories
was an
about.
assist. I was only assistant last year. This year I'm a head coach. That's a whole different story. Stop.
Yeah, but still, it comes with some skills that you got already.
I guess we'll see. I have to find out. I have to figure out what kind of drills I want to do with them yet too. And I
Yeah.
really just hope that if I'm going to be doing this and there's an assistant, I hope they don't just like because they're trying to find an assistant for me, which like fine, but I just don't want them to sit there and butt in the whole time and just take over everything because it's like I didn't do that as an assistant. I'm not going to make someone else do that. It just like if I want to do something, I want to do it because it's like something to benefit them, like learn the game or figure like better their skills. Like I just don't want someone else to come in and just take over and do everything for me. It's like, well, that's not how this works. So
Yeah.
figure it out, I guess.
I've never done coaching before, so I
It's
find it very
interesting.
interesting. Yeah.
It is very interesting. It's a lot of fun though, so I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to it.
Okay, well, I don't have any news stories, everybody. I just have been doing life, doing YouTube, still working very hard, still working in marketing, doing lots of fun stuff there. And then we have a big event coming up in a month. So that's why sometimes if you all see me on social media or hear me somewhere that I sound tired, that is why, because I'm doing YouTube and getting ready for this big event. And so I'm just a tad tired.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like for me, because I'm gonna be traveling. Like our game schedule starts in May, so I have like
Uh-huh.
4 weeks, and then we're starting games, and so I'm going to be busy 3 out of 4 days of the week with
Yeah.
coaching. Then we got podcasts, so that's 4 days out of the week. So that really only leaves weekends for me, and most weekends on Fridays is going to be my travel day because I have quite a distance to travel. So like my trying to record and stream is going to be is so difficult. So it's like I got to start trying to get some stuff now because later I'm not going to have the time for it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I feel that's what I mean. Like I'm already like I'm not stretched thin, but I'm just definitely tired at the end of the week. Like Saturday I normally sleep till like 1 o'clock just because I'm trying to like recover from the week.
I feel it. Yeah, that's the same way here. I sleep in on my days off of work.
Yes, yes. Okay, so I think that is all of our life updates. Is that everything that you wanted to talk about then?
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we'll slide over to Trevor and Bryce in the newsroom. Ooh. And welcome back to the news. It's time for the news.
I should get a
Trevor,
soundboard.
are you excited for the news? There's
I
like a
am.
soundboard on here. Hold on.
It's not gonna be as good though. Like I should get like I want to get a soundboard where like I can just hit a button and it'll automatically play because I could put some really wild stuff there. Not to mention that would be super fun.
Yeah, I think we can. Would love if we can load up. We can load up sounds into the soundboard. That's something that we should keep for the future.
Yeah, but a lot of those you have to like pay extra for them. Wait, these are the new controllers?
Yes. Just in case anybody was curious, Trevor does not read the news stories ahead of time sometimes.
No, because I'd rather react to them and find out more about them in real time. It's a lot. It's more authentic because if I just read it and like go over it while like beforehand, it's just so boring to talk about.
Yeah. Also, I didn't announce the first news story, Trevor, so thanks for spoiling it. So yeah, our first news story is, I know that this is going to shock everybody. This is like a Pixel launch. If anybody's a tech person, that'll be some inside baseball for you. So Xbox is releasing two new colors for the Xbox. Hold on, I got to get this right, everybody, because it's really difficult to say. For the Xbox Elite Series 2 core controllers. So there's the Xbox Series 2 controllers, Elite Series 2 controllers, that are like a whole bundle. But the Series 2 core controllers are just the controller, so it's slightly cheaper than the normal Series 2 controller. But if you want all the bits and bobs, you can buy a pack with it that has all the bits and bobs in it. Just so we know.
Thinking about that, I have an Elite 2 controller. I should just get one of these to replace it because my one of my roommates put stick drift on it, so it's impossible to play with it anymore. And I've tried to fix it, and I just literally can't. So I should just get one of these because I already have all the pieces for it. Not to mention,
Yeah, I
they
think as
actually
long as
come.
it's a 2, it works. I think it's like
See,
cross
I
compatible.
yeah, which I love looking at this because the new controllers are red. The new colors are red and blue, and I love how on here it says red versus blue, as like like a little side title, like subtitle kind of thing.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I really like it. I like the red. The red looks really nice, and I already have all the pieces, so why not just get the controller and then hook up the pieces? Like it's not that hard.
Yeah. Yeah, the only thing is they won't like color match, but I'm sure that won't really bother you that much.
I mean, black on white or like it's not going to matter. I mean, it's black.
Yeah.
Black would work just fine with it. I mean, black and
Yeah.
red is a good combination as it is. I mean, on
Yeah.
here it's black, red, and white. The white is on the back, but the black is the grips, which with just adding the black pieces, it's not much different. It should be just fine.
Yeah, and it looks like they might not even have color matchups actually. I think if you buy the bundle, it's actually just a silver bundle.
Yeah, so the black would look a lot better
Um,
with it, anyways.
yeah, probably, yeah.
Oh, what the?
But yeah, so that's super exciting. Does the Elite controller, just out of curiosity, because I actually don't know this and I didn't know that you had one. Do the
I've had
Elite
one for like
controllers
3 years.
come with batteries? Do they do double A still, or are they
No, no, no,
actually?
no, 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 no.
Oh, they're
So the
rechargeable.
Elite 2 controllers, so essentially what they are is they're USB-C plug-in at the top, so they're pretty
Mm-hmm.
new. I think you can plug them into like rechargeable kits if you have the proper one. Otherwise, you just plug the controller in through a wire and charge it because the battery pack is built into the controller. Like you literally cannot
Yeah.
access it. It is built
Oh,
into the
okay.
controller, so you just plug the controller in and it charges,
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's nice.
which
Oh,
is
I
super
see.
handy. Yeah,
Now
so
looking
like
at
when I
like the
bought
3D
mine,
model of it, I'm seeing that like yeah, there's no like door on the back.
yeah, so before they released the Elite Series 2 core controllers, There's the Elite 2s, which is what I have. Um,
Yeah.
and it comes in a little case, which is really nice. It has its own travel case. And it has actually, now that I think about it, it has a pad that you can set it on that
Uh-huh.
actually magnetically sticks into the case. And you can either plug your cord directly into that and then set the controller on that, or you can plug it
Mhm.
directly into the controller. But it comes with a whole
Yeah.
little case with like different Joy Cons, a different D pad,
Mhm.
interchange like the buttons on the back you can change out. It comes up with like a couple tools as well for like cleaning or like taking it apart. So there's a
Oh,
lot to
okay.
it that comes with it, and it's super nice. So if you have an
Yeah.
Elite 2 controller, getting an Elite 2 core isn't much different. It's the exact same controller, maybe a slight modification to it.
No, I
And
think they
if
are
like
identical. They just come in different colors.
Yeah, I mean they're pretty similar. It's just I
Mhm.
think the 2 core has like more grip to them. That's the one thing I noticed with the Elite 2s is there's a lot of grip on the controller itself, which is really nice for gaming. Like me, I have really sweaty hands when I hold a controller. Even after like 5 minutes of gaming, my hands are sweating a lot. So having a
Mhm.
really gripped controller is really nice, and it's like stronger grip than like even just a normal like Xbox controller that comes with like an Xbox Series X, for example. Like
Yeah.
I noticed that these ones have more grip to them, but that one is more like rubberized grip than the plastic, which is a lot nicer to handle.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and like and if you get the Xbox Core controller, they do sell a bundle called, hold on, let me find it real quick cuz I just saw it and I lost it. But they sell a bundle with all the accessories as if you were buying a Elite controller. And hold on, I just saw it, so let me find it. And it's called the Complete Component Pack. And it's 60, so then it brings the price up to what like a normal Elite 2 controller would be if you bought that
Actually,
instead of
no, a normal Elite Series 2 Elite controller is only $160. The Core 2s I
them.
think have a little bit more to them. So they're a little different, but that would bring it up to 260. So it's $100 more for the full set of the Core 2s versus just in a regular Elite 2.
Well, Core 2 is only 130.
On the website it said it was 200. On the
Oh yeah,
website
I'm on the actual website and it says 130 ASM or ERP.
I guess it depends cuz on here it says this is for something. Okay, this is for somewhere else. Never mind. I don't know what I'm looking at.
Okay. Yeah, so it brings up to 190, so I think that's still slightly more expensive than the
Yeah,
Core 2, but or the regular Elite 2, but
it's roughly about the same price. It's a little more expensive, but it's not terrible.
yeah, like give or take. Oh, what is this? Yeah. So new controllers, they look really nice. I like them. I think the core controllers are nice too because a lot of people who want the Xbox Elite controller, a lot of people don't want all the bells and whistles. Sometimes they do, but a lot of people don't. So it's nice that they give you an option. Like if you want all the bells and whistles just in one package, you can either buy one of those colored ones just bundled with the complete set, or you can just buy a Elite 2 controller just outright, and then you get all your bits and bobs with it. So it's nice they give flexibility, which is always better for the consumer to have more options.
Yeah, that's very true. I found that I really liked my Elite 2 controller, and like
Hmm.
the D pad I would switch out from time to time. That was about the only thing I really switched out. I didn't really like having the buttons on the back, but I wasn't used to them. Like if I was to play with it, left the buttons on and got used to it, I wouldn't have an issue with it.
Hmm.
Um, but I didn't like it, so I would just take them off because they just magnetically click in. So it's not
Yeah,
hard to take them off. So I
yeah.
just took them off and left them in the case. But the only thing I ever really switched out was the D pad. It just was dependent on how I was feeling that day.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Which is good, and yeah, like so that's a good example of like you really didn't do tons of crazy customization. You were very happy with it, just how it was.
Well, I'm used to the like regular style of a controller too,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that part doesn't
Um,
bug me.
So then our second news story, just because I wanted something to contrast that for any of you that don't want to spend like $100 on a controller, is there was just a little mini story about HyperX has a really nice budget controller that actually has back buttons for $35. And so, of course, it's a totally wired controller, so it's not wireless. But for $35, you get a fully wired controller, pretty decent quality. Obviously, all plastic, but in the article, he mentions that it doesn't feel like hyper cheap plastic or anything. And then it's USB-C. You get two back triggers that are programmable, and even trigger locks. So it's a pretty nice controller for $35. So just in case any of you don't want to spend the 120 for the fancy big controller, you can totally get your option uh, for just a nice little cheap controller. So it's pretty nice. So I think that's a nice contrast for the like different controllers, which is really nice. Okay, so next segment, I just wanted to share the information with everybody. So now they have, of course, I think the podcast in 2022, our last podcast in 2022, we mentioned that Discord was coming to Xbox. So it's been on Xbox for a little bit, but some people don't know how to use it yet, which is sad because it's really awesome.
It's really easy, actually. My roommate uses it all the time when we play games. Like if I'm on my PC, so like I play Apex on both my Xbox and my PC. Like I'll rotate. They don't link, for people that are wondering. No, they don't link, which is really annoying because I have stuff on my PC that I don't have on my Xbox that I wish I did. And vice versa. But it's not the end of the world. Sometimes like Xbox party chat on PC bugs out and I can't hear like my buddy talk, so he's actually used Discord, and it works pretty well. Actually, we've used it a couple times.
Yeah, so it's really nice. It's really easy. But just in case any of you don't know how to do that, below we'll have an article linked, and it has not a step-by-step guide, but they pretty much just outline how to use it, what it's useful for, giving you some tips for troubleshooting, and stuff like that, which is really, really nice. So,
I ordered ranch and they gave me barbecue sauce. Jerks.
Oh my gosh.
I ordered. Okay, so for those of you wondering why there's a brief like pause, I had ordered food because I'm hungry and it's been a long day, so I ordered some food, and I ordered ranch because I had some chicken, and they gave me barbecue sauce instead of ranch, like I asked. Okay, you can continue. I'm gonna eat, and I just about knocked down everything on my computer, on my desk.
Oh my god. But yeah, so it's just a step-by-step guide. It lists off the update that you have to be on minimum to use it. And it has some troubleshooting things in the article as well if you need them. But so it's really nice, and I thought I would just share that resource with everybody because every once in a while I share some stories with all of you that are just like useful for Xbox. So it's just really useful. So you're welcome to use it. Of course, if you join the B2 Gaming or the Mini Penguin Discords, you can also play with your fellow viewers on there on Xbox, which is really nice as well. And every once in a while we use it, like whenever we do in the future, whenever we do Minecraft episodes, that's always nice to like use Discord on Xbox just to have some higher quality voice chatting and stuff like that. And Xbox party chat isn't always the most reliable. Discord also isn't always the most reliable. But since you have both of them, it's very unlikely that they both would go down or have issues at the same time. So theoretically, having both options will make it so that whenever one's being really crappy, you can just use the other one. Even though they're both always trying to improve, it still happens, sadly, because technology is technology. So that will be linked below, just so you guys have that resource in case you want to explore that, because that is a very nice and fun
technology does tend to suck sometimes.
Yeah, it's not always the best in the world.
I was dealing with it today at work, so
yeah, oh my god, yeah, I deal with it all the time at work because being in marketing, social medias are down half the day sometimes, which is super fun.
Yeah.
So next, we just talked about this last podcast, and I had to like slip it in with a semi-unrelated news story. So now this time I get to slip it in with a related news story. So Xbox and Activision, they are still trying to merge, and we have now made progress. So the CMA, which is the UK's Commercial Petitions and Marketing Authority, which is pretty much like their
Happy now?
FDA for us. No,
I don't know.
FCA,
I don't know.
Federal Communication Administration. Federal, yeah, our FCA, FDA, whatever. FCA, I think it is. They're pretty much that's their FCA. Um, and they were holding up the acquisition now because the US pretty much passed the acquisition and said that they don't see it as anti competitive. So then it went over to the UK because they said that they think it's anti competitive. Everything is not 100% set in stone, but they have said that they are less concerned about the deal going through, and through their investigation, they do not see as many issues as they originally thought they would. So, even though it's not set in stone quite yet, it sounds like they will be also approving of the acquisition. And so, as long as no other countries start butting in, Xbox and Activision will probably be finding their way to a partnership much sooner than later, which is great because we've been sitting on the UK's commission for a hot minute because they were really asking for a lot. So I'm happy that that has finally progressed to an almost finished stage. You have any thoughts or concerns on that, Trevor?
No, I just can't wait to see where this is going to go because there's a lot that's to be done here. And if it goes well, we could see something really cool.
Yeah. So down below, of course, we have all of the information listed as well. They have a full breakdown of what the um, CMA actually said, but the synopsis for all of you is that they pretty much said that even though they haven't approved the deal yet, they're less concerned with the deal going through, which pretty much means that as long as anything crazy doesn't come up, they'll approve it. So that's good. We're making progress on that. Always awesome to see. Um, Real quick, I wanted to snub in there. A news story just came out right now for all of us techie people, and I will find a news story to link for it. Hold on, let me find a news story to link for it. But Apple, while we were getting ready to do the show, actually just announced their developer conference is in June now. So that's exciting. Not a super big deal, but the developer conference is always a big one for games. So hopefully, eventually, we're still kind of waiting for Apple to allow Xbox game streaming natively on iOS. So hopefully,
yes.
there's always a chance that that might happen whenever WWDC comes around. So WWDC is happening again. It'll be June 5th. It'll be live. I'm sure whatever week our podcast is that week, I will be mentioning it because I love Apple and I'm always there. But yeah, so that'll be exciting. So that's coming up as well. So that's big for games because that's just a social media, or not social media. That's a big tech event because that's a lot of software focus. Let me put that down here. And now we're going to go into something that is Trevor's specialty, which
Lay
is.
down. I'm eating my food, and Captain comes up, so I gave him a chicken finger, and he was like hesitant on eating it. And he comes back over, and he's sitting next to my desk, and he's like just like waiting. He's waiting. He's so patient, and he's staring at me, and then he like quickly shoots his eyes over to my desk, and then looks back, like, "Give me that, give me that." Like, come on, share, come on, and he's such a goof. No, go lay down.
The Lord.
Fine, I'll give you another chicken finger, but I'm not giving you any more than that because I don't think you can have onion rings. Here. He just puts it in his mouth. He's like, "All right, now what? Like, are you gonna give me more?" Like, he's such a goof. I love him. Greatest dog I could ask for.
But now we're going to go on to a news story that's a little bit more on Trevor's end, which the news story is just ranking the best features that we've seen so far for Counter-Strike 2. But Trevor's seen some news and some updates on Counter-Strike 2 gameplay and how that development is going, because apparently they're like now shooting for launching in the summer-ish is the last I heard. So yeah, Trevor, how has Counter-Strike 2 been going? What's our update for this week on Counter-Strike 2's progress?
So
Oh, and
I
in this
haven't.
article, it does mention what you were talking about. It says there was a smoke
Yep.
overhaul.
Yeah. So essentially, we're kind of bringing it back because some of these main things are going on with a lot of these games. So a lot of the stuff we're talked about last week will probably go on for probably the next few weeks as we see more updates go through.
Yeah, we hit some
Um,
biggies last week that I didn't realize we'd be wrapping back around to it. Like the Activision Blizzard and the Counter Strike 2 will probably be hot for a while.
Mainly, probably the Counter Strike because I'm really interested in this. I actually think I saw a clip. I think it was either yesterday or today of some like leaked gameplay of how the new smoke is gonna act in CS2,
Uh huh.
and it's actually really cool because they're changing it up a bit. So, like, if you throw down a smoke and like a grenade blows up in it, it will essentially create a hole in the smoke where the grenade was. So it's kind of hard to explain with like a grenade, but like say like you throw down a smoke and you know where someone is. If you
Uh huh.
shoot like through the smoke, back off, Captain. I see you digging in stuff. So he's just all over me. He's just all over the place today. Essentially, if you are like if you shoot a bullet through the smoke, what it's gonna do is it's gonna create a little basically like smoke hole where the bullet went through. So the where the bullet goes through the smoke, like from entrance to exit, there's gonna be a little round hole in that smoke from where the bullet had flew through. So they're kind of like redoing the way smoke works to kind of change like if you've ever walked through a smoke cloud, you know, once you come out, you have a trail that kind of follows you behind. Like it kind of leaves that little effect. So they're kind of it's tough to explain. I would say for those of you who are actually really interested in this, like I am, um, definitely go check out some YouTube videos. There's some videos that are out about it. I actually saw it on TikTok. Someone was checking
And
it
even
out,
this
and
article has some good links in it too for them to
yeah,
check out like more resources.
but it's definitely super cool and something I would definitely check out because just the whole thing, is like it's a lot. I mean, it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't seem like a lot, but that's a lot that they're doing just to change the way that this game is, which is actually so interesting.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that like the smoke thing too. I read the article a little bit before we hopped into the podcast, and it does sound very interesting. Having like I don't want to call them live smoke mechanics, but it's pretty much the smoke reacts to the world instead of just being a static object. It
Yeah,
sounds like.
that is actually a really good way to describe it. Couldn't have I couldn't describe it that way if I tried. If my like two
Yeah.
brain cells are not functioning right now. Like half of it's focused, half of it is just like in awe because I got an Oreo shake and this thing tastes like birthday cake ice cream. It is so good.
But yeah, that's really exciting. Anything else from Counter Strike 2 that you've seen that you're like, wow?
That's about the main thing I've seen. But with it, with the showing the mechanics, they were kind of showing off a bit of how everything looked, the graphics, the map redesigns. They look amazing already. Like it is so updated. It is so much newer, um, or more new. However, you English people like want to. If you want to be so technical about it, oh,
Yeah,
newer is
yeah.
not a word. Yeah, I got it.
Okay, got it.
It has a new feel to it, which is it feels like a game of today's age rather
Yeah.
than a remodel of a game that's been out since what 2006.
Yeah, it's been a very long time, yes.
I'm actually gonna Google this. I don't know how long Counter Strike's been out.
Yeah,
Counter
check up on our
Strike.
facts.
Oh my gosh. Counter Strike was released on November 9th of 2000. This game is 23 years old. 23.
Oh, wow.
This game is
Yeah, it's
older
older
than
than
me
me.
and Bryce.
Yeah.
So, to those of you who think this game is old and they're remodeling it, that's crazy. There's a lot going into this. A
Also, an
lot.
interesting thing, I guess they're testing out the old Counter Strike worked on a 64 tick system, which just means that like you just had to interact with the actual game 64 times within each game tick. Now they're trying out a 128 tick system, which, just for all of our knowledge, the lower the ticks are, the weaker your internet connection can be, because the more times that you can interact with it within a tick, the lower your connection speed has to actually be. So going to 128 ticks over 64 would theoretically make it more playable for a lot of people, but also the
Well,
article
you got to
points out
remember.
that it
I mean,
also
look at
could
what
make
people
it
are playing on in
more
today's
laggy.
day and age. I mean, people have like $2,000+ computers. Like, people are playing on like high tech computers. Like most of these people probably are.
Yeah.
And so to have something that's going to run well with your PC and keep up with it is something else.
Yeah, but I do worry just a tad for that, because having a lower tick like that just makes it, I don't want to say less competitive, but it does make it so the game runs not slower. I'm trying to like visualize what it would feel like, because it would just mean that everything in the world just interacts in a not laggy way, but just everything would have to be designed to not be so reactive, because if that's like their base tick, then you can't go higher than that. So it's interesting. It sounds like they're only testing it out though, so there's no guarantee that that will change, but just interesting snippet.
I wonder if it's going to be one of those things where it's like an option you can enable in your settings. So it's like a visual thing.
Yeah, yeah, or it could just be like just if you have a weak connection, maybe you get match made with a 128 tick match, so that everybody's like on the equal playing field, but you don't have to worry about being super laggy and annoying.
I guess we'll have something to keep an eye out for then.
Yeah.
See what
Yeah, it
see
sounds
how
like
it
they're
goes.
testing it, so they don't seem committed to it. So we will see how that goes in all the beta testing. But that's exciting. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on Counter Strike 2. That and Xbox coming together with Blizzard, I'm sure, will be a revolving story as well. Um, Next, we have another contender dropping out of E3. So we already know Xbox and Nintendo are not coming to E3's big relaunch this year, because they're finally going to be in person again. So they're very excited, whatever. Now, Ubisoft announced that they will also not be coming to E3. They will be hosting their own event just like everybody else, which is very interesting. So now there's three big contenders that have decided not to come to the E3 relaunch. So E3 is starting to get a little bit thin on population, sadly.
Well,
I believe
I think
Sony will also not be attending E3, which is going to be pretty rough. So you don't have any of the major console people coming.
well, I think usually E3 is basically because it is a gaming event. Um, a lot of these big companies probably don't have anything like prepared for this year, so they're just it's better than that they just don't go than get all this ridicule for going and not have anything that's like super of high interest. Like it's just
Mm-hmm.
minor things that like nobody really cares about, you know?
Yeah. Yeah,
Because a
still,
lot
it's
of
a little bit worrying.
well, because a lot of these companies are just doing like their own updates and stuff and trying to figure out their own stuff, and it's better than causing fights and all this stuff at a convention where people just go to learn and have fun with video games. You know, it's just something different.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like the only reason I feel some drama is only because, especially with Ubisoft, E3 is happening. I cannot see the date when E3 is happening. But E3 is happening in June, I believe. And so the first bit of
June
drama
12th.
was June 12th it's happening.
Yep. Oh wait, no. Oh, this is from Ubisoft. It says they made a subsequent decision to move in a different direction and will be holding an Ubisoft Forward live event on June 12th in Los Angeles. So Ubisoft is doing their own thing, and they're going to have their own event in June.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. E3, I'm pretty sure is supposed to be sometime in June, because I remember the other big story was Xbox is having the Xbox Games Showcase June 11th, which
Yes,
is right around the same time. So everybody's having these events at the same time as E3. So they have stuff prepared. They just don't want to do it at E3. They want to do it
well,
on their own time.
based off of this, it says that on June 11th, 2 days before E3 officially begins, which E3 does go on for a few days. So it does that gives me the idea that it tells me that E3 starts on June 13th and will probably
Yeah.
which if I'm gonna actually look through my calendar quick. I'm assuming that's on a weekend.
Yeah, because
No,
E3 is
it's on a
usually a week
Tuesday. The
long.
13th is a Tuesday, so it'll probably go
Yeah, so it'll
from
probably,
Tuesday through that Friday or something like that. So it'll be for a few days.
yeah.
But it sounds
Yeah,
like all these companies have major like things that they're gonna release. Actually, which I guess I was wrong. But they have their own games and stuff that they want to showcase, and they don't want to try and like get outdone by someone else. So they'd rather just host their own stuff on their own day rather than try and fight and see who has the best presentation for their own stuff.
yeah. Which I think was part of the fun of E3, but yeah, I think that just spells something out for E3 that all these people have obviously lots of stuff that they'll be releasing and just don't want to do it at E3 because they just don't feel like it because they don't like E3 that much anymore. Which is kind of sad because I always liked E3. That was always kind of the fun, is the drama between Xbox and PlayStation, especially seeing who has a better presentation, and then following by what games were actually good, what games did not seem that good, and just seeing how that all falls. Um, so it'll be a little sad. At least they're all happening in the same month still, so I'm sure that there will still be a little drama because it's all in the same month.
It's like the same week.
Yeah, yeah. So there should still be a little bit of drama, hopefully.
I think it's mostly because like how with like COVID, we just barely got out of COVID, so like everyone's kind of still like, I don't really want to do this and that. And I mean, there's a lot of people there. A lot of people don't like to be around a lot of people, especially as like gamers. A lot of us don't like to be around a ton of people at all times.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's one funny thing. Every single time E3 happened, the week after E3, all of our favorite YouTubers would be like, well, I'm sick this week.
Yeah, because I mean, it's just a breeding ground from germs. Because there's so many people from all over the place that all these different germs are getting mixed and matched together. So people are just going to get sick from it. Because I mean, it's a tough area to be around.
Yeah, 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 and it's lots of different germs from many different places because obviously everybody, um,
Well, yeah, there's people that come from all over the world, different countries, all sorts of
yeah,
stuff. So
yeah, and all across the United States and everything. So it's like you would get germs from literally everywhere.
yep.
um, so yeah, so we'll see how that plays out. Now Nintendo, Xbox, PlayStation, and Ubisoft are out. I'm sure there's a few in the background that are also out that just we haven't noted or haven't announced it yet. So we'll see how it turns out. At least we'll still get all of our gaming fixes because it sounds like most of them will still be doing something in that month. Maybe even the same week, most of them, it sounds like. So that'll be exciting. So we'll see how that all plays out. But I'm feeling kind of bad for E3. Hopefully, E3 does something amazing that they're all like, oh, we missed out on that. And then next year, everybody maybe hops back on the train. That would be kind of nice. And then finally, one of our like a little bit of a I don't want to say background story, but one of our little less featured stories, maybe I should call it. So Xbox Cloud Gaming on a lot of platforms now. We talked about it not being on Apple official, but you can still play the xCloud through Safari on all of your Apple devices. It's just a little bit more laggy and not quite as nice as if there was a native app like they have on Android and Windows and everything like that. But Xbox is continuing to expand. So Xbox has Xbox xCloud on Samsung TVs now. Obviously, you can play it on your Xbox. You can play it on Apple devices. You can play it on Android devices with the Xbox xCloud app if you have Game Pass Ultimate. And now it sounds like there is rumors that Xbox Cloud Gaming also wants to make their way to GeForce, which is super exciting. So theoretically, the way that it would work is your Game Pass library would just be playable on GeForce because GeForce makes you buy the games and then you can just play them through the cloud for free. Or you can pay extra money for GeForce to stream in 4K and all this other stuff, but it's a free service initially, and all you have to do is buy the games. So theoretically, that would unlock the Xbox Game Pass PC library, and you could just play them through GeForce, which is super exciting, and I think that's super interesting. Have you ever played GeForce before, Trevor?
I feel like I have, but I can't think if I don't think I have. It sounds familiar, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah, I
so.
played GeForce Now a little bit, but I did not play it like a ton. So I haven't like
I gotta Google what
super
it is.
gone through it. Yeah, look it up a little bit. But so they are looking to come to GeForce, which I think would be super exciting. And then it sounds like they also want to come to the Epic Game Store, which uh that would just be, I assume, the Xbox xCloud app just available
Oh,
through the Epic Game Store, which is what I assume. Because that would make the
yeah, I've
most
not played
sense.
that.
Oh, you have played GeForce Now?
No, I have not played that.
Oh, okay. I like GeForce Now. Um, so yeah, it would just support the official Xbox xCloud app, and so that would just be really awesome because there's some platforms like Steam Deck and stuff where xCloud is available through some like third-party methods, but not directly. But the Steam Deck actually does have the Epic Game Store on it, which is kind of ironic. Um, and so if it would be available through the Epic, or yeah, if it would be available through the Epic Game Store, you could get xCloud natively to run on the Steam Deck, which would be a really awesome evolution. So those are just rumors, not too much crazy stuff, but it sounds like they are rumors from some notable sources. So hopefully we'll hear about those soon. And of course, the more people playing on xCloud, the better, because xCloud runs on servers based on the Xbox platform. So anybody playing on xCloud match makes with Xbox players. So the more the merrier. Because the more xCloud people we have, the more people that me and Trevor have to beat in Apex.
You mean the more people I have to beat in Apex, and the more times I have to carry you?
Same difference.
Sort of.
um, but yeah, so that's super exciting. I think it coming to xCloud is the bigger deal because it pretty much will just use xCloud, just unlock your games theoretically, is how it sounds. So that would just be awesome because you could just have Xbox Game Pass Ultimate and then just play those PC games on xCloud just like that. Because you can, the free tier of xCloud you can have, and all you have to do is buy the games, which Xbox Game Pass would unlock those games. So now you could just play those games at a higher resolution and at a better quality than what your PC could run. So that's just a win-win. And then xCloud gets more players. And then a lot of people, I'm sure, are a little prissy and would upgrade to the 4K tiers and stuff because they want to see the games in really, really pretty edition. Were you gonna say something, Trevor?
No, I'm just scrolling. So, the one I have pulled up is the article you're talking about, and I'm just scrolling down the page, and one of the
Mm-hmm.
things that pops up: Apex Legends, 8 least picked legends.
What?
Yeah, I just kept scrolling down, and it popped up. It's pretty far down.
Oh, like alternative articles?
Yeah,
Oh. Well,
published March 4th, so it's actually not too long ago.
oh, relevant.
It says 8 least picked, but they list 9.
Already
Oh,
unreputable.
I can kind of agree with this. Like, a
Oh,
lot of
God.
people don't play as a lot of these characters. No, a lot of people play as Watson. What do you mean?
I love Watson. Okay.
That's like one of the main people I see people like I play against, and like
Yeah, you have anecdotal evidence because you actually play the game. But yeah,
I don't know where they're
so
getting their credits from.
so I think that's our news for that week. I think that's all. We shared all of our thoughts on the news stories. Do you have any extra thoughts or cares for the news stories for this week, Trevor?
Not really. There's not a whole lot that really piqued my interest in what we had for stories this week.
Yeah, not too much crazy going on in the gaming space right now. We're still like building up for E3 pretty much low key, or
Yeah, pretty
the
much.
month of E3, I should say, because everybody's doing different things. But the gaming month.
We should definitely go to E3 one of these years. Check it out.
Oh, I'd love to go in person. Yeah, yeah. Or even just go to the Xbox conference because now it's separate, but they still host a conference in person. So it'd be fun to go down for that.
It
And
would
then,
just be fun to go to any of these gaming conventions because, like, I've watched YouTubers for years that go to all these conventions, and it's like, I don't care, like, if I meet up with 100 people that I play with or 2. Like, just going and checking it out with someone and hanging out and, like, seeing all that stuff would be so fun. It'd be expensive, but it would be so fun.
Oh yeah, it would be just a little pricey, but yeah, definitely really really fun. So that would be awesome. But yeah, so I think that's all our news for this week. Thank you for catching up with us again. And as always, we always tell you to game weekly on Xbox. So I think that's the end
That
of
was
our show,
still bad.
Trevor. Do you
That
have
was
any
still
other
bad.
thoughts?
No, that was
I
still
like
bad.
it. I like
No!
it.
That was
It's
terrible. Okay,
It's
if
sticky.
any of you guys listened to last week's podcast, you remember Bryce is trying to come up with catchphrases, and I told him he's banned from it, and here he is still trying to make them. That was terrible. No, that was terrible.
Game weekly on Xbox.
No, that is terrible. I will find. I gotta come up with something better quick. This week
If
went
you
by
come up
so
with something
quickly.
better eventually.
Well, this week went by so quickly that it was like, holy crap! And like,
I know
from
our podcast
Saturday.
says released 4 days ago, and I'm like, dang. I'm like, but by the time this one's done being edited, it'll be 7 days ago, which will be a week ago.
Actually, thinking about it, after this, maybe I should just like stream some Apex, because that's one thing I haven't done in a while. Like, I used to love playing Apex, and honestly, I really don't care to play. Like, I don't really care about listening to people talk. I just want to play Apex. Like, I haven't streamed Apex in so long, and just jump on and play for a little bit, because I gotta go to bed in a little bit, because it's 10 to 8 for me.
Yeah,
and I gotta work at 6 a.m.
10 to 9 here.
Well, yeah, you're an hour ahead, so
yeah.
But I gotta work at 6 a.m. So I should probably I should do a stream. Yeah, jump on and stream. Are you gonna jump on and play with me?
Yeah, once I compile I just have to download all the audio from this episode. But once I do that, I can. Which obviously that doesn't take forever. It takes like a minute or two.
Skip. I don't need to update OBS yet.
Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Please check out me and Trevor's channel when you get a minute. Check out our Twitch. Check out the new website for the studio, which has all of our stuff and ways to support us, like our Patreon. And I just found out that I didn't know that our podcast host actually has a donation. So if you want to donate money that will go directly to the podcast instead of just to our whole network of stuff, you can donate there, and that money obviously will be cycled right back into the podcast. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next week for more amazing news, more fun updates with me and Trevor, and an even more amazing time. Goodbye.
Bye.